LS through to a core, through to a max. Every different manufacturer out there has different models. They're all aimed at different profiles of players and different standards of players. So if you're looking at a driver and you've no idea where you need to fall or which head you should get into, I'm going to break it down. Are you playing the right driver head for your game? There's a ton of different options out on the market, but how do you choose which one to go for in any particular company? Are you looking for something that's based on swing speed? Are you looking for something that's based on your ability, how frequently you play golf? Do you need something that's more forgiving if you don't hit the center that often? Do you need something that gives you the low tumbling ball flight, or do you need something that gives you a little bit more spin? We're going to break it down and make it a bit easier for you as the consumer in this video, and then the fitters, we're going to help you get through a little quicker to where you need to be and get that player in front of you hitting less golf balls in the air but having better results with the time they're using. So let's stick obviously with TaylorMade. We've got the LS here, we've got the Qi35, and we've got the Max. 3 different heads that are all going to give you 3 different results. The first thing you've got to think about is your own personal level in terms of how techie, how geeky do you want to go. They've all got loft sleeves, which is the sleeve that can change the loft that hits the ball. Loft is crucial when you hit the golf ball because it impacts spin and launch. Spin and launch is crucial because it impacts how that golf ball is going to fly and give you more yardage. Is more yardage even priority number 1 for you? You have to decide what is the highest priority for you as a golfer. As you look down at the soles of these golf clubs, which is never the way we'd look at them first, we'd always look at the crowns and get comfortable. But that's applicable if you're a good player who knows what comfort looks like. As you look at the soles, because you may be new to the game, you'll notice there's variable movable weights. That's these little black weights that you can move around the head that impact CG location. If you're not hitting the center of the face consistently, then CG location probably isn't all that important to you. But, and there's question number 2, if you're a baller and you know you are hitting the center of the face, quite often, you know your club delivery, then all of a sudden these weights are really going to impact how you hit the golf ball and which driver you choose. So we'll start with the LS. You might have won one of these in a club raffle or something like that, and you've gone and you've like, wow, this thing's the daddy. I've seen the best players in the world using it, but it looks pretty small, it looks pretty intimidating. Or flip side, you've actually put some research in and you realize that LS is the one for you. It's a little bit more of a classic shape, so if you compare it next to the others, like I've got down on the deck here, you can see it's slightly smaller, not as long back to front, so the CG isn't as far back as some of the other options. That then offers you a bit more speed, but with that, you knew I couldn't get through a video without talking about it, comes to this, it also brings in a little bit of a wider dispersion, which is MOI, moment of inertia. If you do hit this off the middle, you may be a bit more crooked. But as a good player, when you stick this behind the golf ball, it can be mint and it can then give you confidence. Obviously, the different sizes of the heads make the different lengths of the golf shafts feel different, because if you put this length shaft into some of these other heads, then it almost feels like you've got a Tonka toy. It's super short. So the smaller head really does put a priority on how that club feels to you, the player. Performance-wise and speed-wise, these movable weights at the front, if you throw the heavier weights at the front, that knocks the spin off. But you've got to be able to launch it consistently yourself. So we'll ping one down there, see if we can give you a good example of a knuckly ball flight. It's going to maybe give me a lower apex, but give me a bit more yardage. So pretty good example of toe strike hung in there, but that is the maximum kind of miss I'm going to get. I dropped ball speed from what my normal is. I went down like 5 miles an hour, but that driver off of that toe strike isn't going to be as efficient as some of these larger ones. I'm a high spin player. which is why I personally end up in the LS, because I need the low spin, the LS option, to help me, the golfer. Slight pull, but hung in there. Quick speed, low spin, lower launch, but distance, and a good strike, to be fair. So if you're a player who knows you can strike the driver, who knows you can hit it well, wants to maybe shape it, and then wants to get into the weights, maybe hits it high, then this thing's for you. Wants that classic look. I know I fall into the victim of the classic look, and that driver definitely comes true. Now let's flip all the way to the max. This is completely different again. This one will fly higher. I'm going to put it in the same setting, but you'll see here, even on the tracer, that the height will go up. Now, in addition, I hit that one pretty well, 166 ball speed. I feel like it's going to be hard to get the same speed out of the max. Because the CG is further back, now the spin characteristics change, but what you are going to get is a very straight ball flight. So think about a golfer that struggles to hit it in play. This is going to be able to go straighter. If you're a slicer of the ball, this one will help you because of the spin. It's more upright in the lie angle, so the toe is closer to my nose. So I might pull this. There's a strong chance I hit this left, just based on who this is aimed at. That'd be pretty standard, I think, which I know was the start line I just hit the LS on. Actually come out with some good speed, actually come out with some good spin. That was a decent hit. Huge toe, stayed in play. So the miss hits are in play. Speed dropped a little. Really just a look thing. But you can see how, for me, this driver wants to go left. That would be common based on the lie angle. So it's aimed at the golfer who hits the slice. Yes, it's spinning and it's staying in the air, but that larger head is really for those higher handicappers who perhaps struggle to turn the golf ball over. The miss is weak to the right. You need control of the spin with the back CG. Now you've got the core. This one's got 7 gram in the front, 11 in the back. You can play around with the weights. This one is a little bit more spinny. Again, a large head compared to the LS. And again, compared to the LS, you can see a huge difference in the crown size. Massive. So again, that makes the shaft feel different in the hand. The length, I think this particular head, you got to look for this when you get fit. The face angle is a little bit more shot. But head for head, this is going to spin a bit more. So let's get on some vibes with this. So a bit more spin out of this. So again, toey, but look how it's staying in the air. Let's check the spin rate number. Yeah, 2300. Staying in the air. So you notice on that one, a bit more spin. You can see from the way it lands, and then 2500. It's not too much, but lost a bit of speed, 164 ball speed. If you go back to the LS, that offers a bit more speed based on the center of gravity being further forward. So, summarizing, LS head, you're better player. You're someone who wants to control the flight, maybe a high spin golfer. This is going to be the option for you. As long as you're hitting the center, you get away from the center, and this isn't as forgiving as these other heads. Getting into the core. This is going to be a player that needs a bit of spin. Now that can be a tour player all the way through to a mid to high handicap. If you need spin, now you can find it in a driver head. So some players technically need, based on the way they swing the golf club and deliver it, a bit of spin to get the golf ball in the air. This is where you go to. It's a larger head, but it's also got some movable weight, so you can dial in the spin as you need to move the weight. And of course, there's a loft sleeve that will help you. This is a good midpoint driver, but also can be used by the better player. Then we get into Qi35 Max. This is your largest head. The CG is furthest back. It should launch the highest. You can still get some speed off it, as you saw in the video, but if you do miss the center, then this one's going to be the most forgiving. It is big, it's a bit more upright, so if you tend to be a slicer of the golf ball so that's left to right for the right-handed player, this driver should hang in there a bit more based on the spin rate, but it should also square up a little easier. This is a big head, big footprint, so make sure as you set up the golf shaft, you're ready as to how that feels in the hands. If your entry point into golf and you're brand new to it, this is going to be where you start. Could also be used by the mid handicap golfer and some top-end players, but you've got to dial it in. the better you get, the more you need to dial this in and make sure it's right for your game. Remember, on head type, that'll dictate shaft length and setup as well for you, the golfer, as to how you get the right one for you. Swing weights, head weights should all be the same. Always keep it in line with the rest of your clubs. If none of these questions make sense to you, I've got a ton of videos on fitting, but this is really the starters that you should be asking yourself to get into the right head for your game. If you like what you're seeing, of course, subscribe. Dive down in those comments if you've got any questions. You might have a few. 3 good lineups for you here to get into the right one. And of course, measure where your game's at. Always be honest with yourself. Take it from there.